And welcome to part 2, guys, of Rogue Actions, guys. Part 1, in case you guys missed it, and you're totally living on an island out there, guys. Part 1 is over on Rambam's channel, guys. Check out the link down below. Make sure you go check that out first, then come back over here to check out part 2. With that being said, guys, we're going to be getting into our first topic tonight, or today, I guess I should say, which is some GAC updates that might be coming down the road in the not-too-distant future, guys. So this is, to be clear, this is speculation. We are speculating, but the reason we're speculating is because we've had some big issues in GAC of late that we've been talking about, and we really feel like there needs to be some fixes that happen here, guys. And with the new year not too far away, that's typically when we see a lot of these things happen. So, first and foremost, Ram, when we're talking about PvP content, so to be clear, guys, we're talking about PvP, not PvE, because there's been a lot of PvE changes of late, so that's not too bad. PvP has been extremely stale. So, Ram, my first question for you is, which mode is more stale in your mind? TW or GAC?
TW. Hands down. No questions asked.
I totally agree.
It's not even a comparison.
Yeah.
GAC has gone through how many changes? GAC itself has gone through changes in the sense of when GAC came out, it was just Grand Arena.
Correct.
And then it was GAC. And then it was, you know, the whole Kyber thing. Then you have the squish. Then you have adding fleets and adding more ships to Fleet Zone. TW has been the exact same thing for how many years? And the only change that we ever had to TW was the temporary buffs that they did and then proceeded to get rid of because people were upset about them.
Do you remember when they used to take characters away too? Oh, God, that was really bad.
They tried that once,
yeah,
and that did not work.
No.
And I think they did like one more buff afterwards, and then they stopped completely.
So let's start with TW first, and then we'll move over to GAC, where I think we're gonna have some better stuff, because both you and I are not super big TW fans at this point. What is one change, Ram, in TW that you would like to see happen to make that game mode better?
I don't know. Change up the map. And I don't mean like the background. I don't mean Jakku, right? I mean like changing up the anatomy of the map. Instead of we know that there's 2 fleet zones in the top back. What about in the bottom or in the back row? You can any of those zones you can make fleet zones. I don't know. Change up that. Change up the I'm really gonna hate this, but some zones are 5v5 only, some zones are 3v3 only, right? Like you need to have some sort of experimentation of other kinds of things in there. Some zones are only datacrons, or datacrons are allowed. Some zones are no datacrons allowed, right? I don't know.
I don't see the no datacron one happening, but I do like your idea, and I want to see what your thoughts are on this. I like the idea of not having the same zones across the board. What about having literally mixed zones? What I mean by that is, in one zone, let's say, you know, your middle zone, you are allowed to have ships, you are allowed to have 5v5 ground forces, you're allowed to have 3v3 ground forces. And you can only take in what matches what's set on defense. So if it's a 3v3 team, you have to use a 3v3 team. If it's a 5v5 team, you have to use a 5v5 team. Like, just so that zone itself is not just a wall of the same stuff. Like, I think for me, that's the biggest issue, is the fact that it's always just walls of the same things. And so you as a person can't go in and do any more than like maybe 1 or 2 battles at most. So like a lot of people have discussed the idea of make it more individually based, kind of like what the raid has done, where you just go in and do your part and you cumulatively defeat it as a group. I don't know that that's going to work really well in TW, but I think the idea of having these force mixed zones where it has to be not just the same 5v5 comp, I think that could be a good way to mix things up, but still have it be a full team attack. I don't know. What do you think on that, man? Am I totally out of my mind on that, or is that feasible?
It's feasible, but I don't necessarily like it.
So he's saying this.
Yeah, it's not ridiculous either. It's
Okay,
just
okay, good.
all right. So I like the aspect of having the ships and the ground forces in a zone. I do like that. I don't like the idea of having 3v3 or 5v5 in that zone.
Okay.
Right. I think that a zone should be relegated to this zone is only for 5v5. This zone is only for 3v3. You can have fleets in both of them. Have fleets spread out throughout the entire TW. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, have fleets throughout the entire TW instead of just relegated to 2 zones. I don't know. It's stale. It's the same thing, especially when you're. I don't even join TW anymore because and I get it. I'm missing out on a whole bunch of rewards, but I hate the fact that I get in there and it's nothing but Leia's. It's nothing but Kylo's. It's nothing but JMK's. It's nothing but this, that, the other, and I literally cannot do anything because what I can do is I can go in and I can use the one counter that my guild told me, hey, this is what we're going to use.
Right.
Cool. And then I have to sit there and I have to wait for the rest of the guild to do whatever. And then they come in. And I think that's really my biggest issue is I don't have a whole, I'm not available for 24 hours to sit here and be like, all right. All right. And my guild moved. We opened up a sector. All right. Now I can go in and use this counter.
Right.
Oh, now I got to wait another. I don't have that time capacity, right? So what about, having all the zones opened? It maybe throws off the surprise aspect, but let's be real, when you already know what your guilds are going to be putting down, right? Because the top guilds, they put down the same thing. It's JMK's, it's Leia's, it's Jabba's, it's whatever, right? It's Leviathans. We already know. So what about having all the zones open and then you allow the guilds to go in and, hey, this is the counters that we're going to use. If you see these teams, you can go ahead and use these counters. And then you still log it, report it, whatever in Discord so your guild can track, whatever. That's cool. But it allows you that time capacity of, okay, I only have an hour to play today. Let me go in and do my TW battles.
Yeah. I like those ideas, man. Those are some great ideas. Like I said, guys, that's kind of part 1 of our discussion here. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on the TW side of things. Do you think the game is good where it's at? Do you think it's stale? And what changes would you like to see? Let us know if the stuff that we came up with here was a good idea or not. The second part of what we're talking about here, guys, is the GAC side of this. So the other PvP content. So this one is a little bit less speculative and a little bit more, I would say, things that need to be fixed because they're just not right. We can talk about other things, obviously, that we would like to see in the game, but GAC has some things that are just straight up wrong and need to be addressed. So, first of all, let me point out what I think are 2 of those things that we've got going on, guys. So, the first one here. So, I'm showing you guys my screen here for 2 reasons. One, the first thing that I want to talk about is the whole scoring system of GAC in general. It is broken. It is straight up broken for multiple reasons. One, people are still getting popped way up into Kyber 1 when they should not be getting popped up. That's still happening. We talked about that in December of last year, and it's still happening. The other issue that's worse now than it used to be is the squish. So it seemed like they had gotten rid of the squish for a little while, because I know for me personally, from like February, March, April-ish time period, I was able to actually climb. I was up into Kyber 1. That squish had gone away, and we were able to actually climb and get up where we probably should be in the game in terms of rewards. Well, now that squish is somehow back again, and we're not ever going to be able to stay in Kyber 1, guys. Like, I don't care how good you are and how much you wail, you will not stay in Kyber 1 with the way the system is working. I believe it was Ranger, shout out to Reality Skew Gamers, Ranger had said in his stream earlier today, you literally have to go 7-2 just to offset the squish that happens. 7-2 just to break even, guys. That's not right. There is something wrong with your system when you got to go 7-2 just to get to 500. That makes no sense at all. Like, so by the way, for those of you guys that don't know, the squish is at the end of every season. You're just losing points. It doesn't matter how well you did. You just lose points. I lost 90 the last one. I lost 100 the one before that. It's typically somewhere between 90 to 120 points that people typically lose. It's just insane. Ram, first of all, am I ranting just for the sake of ranting? Is this something that needs to be fixed? Or is there something that you think is more important than this that needs to be fixed? And I'm just being, salty. What are your thoughts, man?
All right. So there are several issues with GAC. 100%. The squish is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
No takeaway on that one. It's just you should be able to go 5-4 and maintain above water.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
You should be able to go 5-4 and be like, all right, cool. I'm going to climb maybe just a few points, but I'm going to climb just a little bit.
Right.
Having someone tell you, yeah, well, we see that you went 5-4 and you climbed your way into Kyber 1, but we're going to squish you back down to Kyber 2 because that's where that defeats the whole purpose of you trying to outsmart your opponent to do better.
It's so demoralizing, man. It really is.
It is, because especially if you've been climbing, let's say you're at a certain point, because this happens, right? You're at a certain point in Kyber 2 and you do really well that season. I mean, you do really well. You go in and you do a 6-3, a 7-2, maybe even an 8-1, and you go into Kyber 1, man, because you're at the end of Kyber 1, you're at the point of was it Kyber 1 36-10, you're at 36-15. Right. You just made it into Kyber 1. You had an amazing season. You did really good. Guess what? You're going back down to Kyber 2. You know why? Because of squish.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolutely no sense. You just worked your butt off to get into Kyber 1. You just had a phenomenal season. And you go back down to Kyber 2 because CG says you should go back down to Kyber 2 because of squish. What that's doing is that is shrinking Kyber 1 into only the top whales. And it's making Kyber 2 this massive pool where you're facing people who, have a better roster than you, have a much more whaled roster than you, have much more GP than you, which presents separate issues that I'm sure Shaka is eager to discuss.
Yeah. So that is something, obviously, guys, that we think is broken and needs to be fixed in GAC. What we're going to talk about now in GAC is something that we'd like to see come to GAC. Some changes, maybe different things that we could do in GAC that are not currently in place. Not necessarily something that's broken, just something that we would like to see change. For me, I wish there was a way to get more of our roster in the game. I don't know what the answer to that is. That is one thing. The other thing, again, I'm complaining a little bit today, guys. The other thing for me is the way that they score tiebreakers. So the reason I have this open, guys, is because of my previous match. This was an epic GAC, by the way. Very, very good GAC. It came down to literally the last match that we did in ships, and we needed a 69 for the win. We did not get any 69, guys. We got a 68, unfortunately. As a result, we tied 2051 to 2051. He had more GP than me. He has more ships. He has more ground forces. He has more than I do across the board. And we tied him and almost beat him. I feel like me having less GP should get that win, not the person that has more GP. I understand that maybe they're trying to reward you for increasing your roster. I get that. But in an actual one-on-one match, trying to decide who has the better roster, the person with the smaller roster should be getting that win. That's just the way that I feel. And I know it might seem like it's me being salty because I lost in this instance. I actually don't care that I lost. I still feel like I won the match. I just think that from a philosophical standpoint, I think that's a wrong approach to how they're breaking the ties in the situation. That's where I stand on that, guys, and kind of my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'd like to see more of a roster incorporated somehow. I don't have an answer to that without GACs becoming 10 hours long. I don't know. Ram, what is one thing that you would like to see come to GAC that maybe we don't have now, or that might need to be changed that does exist, that kind of thing?
Okay. Well, so two-parter, right? So Number one, what you just said is not something that should be coming to the game. It is something that's currently in the game and should be fixed because it's completely broken.
Right.
There is nothing that I can make sense of, and I've asked so many people about this. There's nothing that I can make sense of, and this is coming from someone who was a retired whale, or is a retired whale. I was a whale. I'm not retired from the game, but I'm retired whale.
Right.
English, it's hard.
You're a whale twice removed.
Yes. Sure. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, whales have so much advantage everywhere else. Your advantage as a whale is that you have the latest and greatest. You have the best. You have the up and front stuff, right? You have the best mods. You have the best Datacrons. You have the latest and greatest in characters that a lot of people are not going to have. You have the latest and greatest in marquees. You have the Amis. You have the Zetas. That's your advantage. I can make 0 sense out of you because you placed a whole bunch of stuff on defense and someone with a less roster than you, whether it's 400,000 GP, whether it's 1 million, whether it's 2 million, because I've lost by all of them.
Right.
I can make no sense out of me getting the win because they were able to fight a massive uphill battle, fight tooth and nail, come back, tie you, and then you get the win because you wailed harder than they did. And maybe not necessarily even wail, because there are people out there with 12 million rosters now who are free to play.
Right.
And
right.
I know one of them. So that is the thing. So I'm not saying that you are a whale. I'm just saying that the vast majority of people who are up at these top levels do spend money. Mm-hmm. Maybe not necessarily whales, but they do spend money. And so then it comes down to, okay, they have the latest and greatest. My point being, if you fight your way through to a tie and you have the less GP, you fought an uphill battle, you should be deserving of the win.
Yeah.
Right? Your reward as a person with more GP is that you have better stuff, and take that and plan better with GAC. Hey, this is what I'm going to change on my defense. This is what I'm going to change on my attack. Whatever. Take that. Why do you get the win?
Yeah.
I don't understand that aspect. As far as something that I would change for GAC, well, other than the obvious, get rid of 3v3 completely, because that is just atrocious and trash. Other than that, the same thing kind of applies for TW. I would say,
being able to mix up your stuff
before ships, right? Because I don't know if you remember this, but before ships, it was a hide and seek game. It was, what do we have in the back, and
right.
determining on what zone you opened up first, you might have had something in the back down the bottom that you used on the bottom zone to open up with, and then guess what? There was something up on the top back that you needed that same counter to beat it with, and now you don't have that, so now you're stuck, right?
That's true, yeah.
And we have so much. This goes into your thing of trying to expand your roster. That does that, because now you have to use deeper things in your roster other than the basic counter that counters 2 different teams. You have to use that, more teams in your roster to do that with. Mm-hmm. Easy fix would be take fleets out, and I'm not saying take them out, but take fleets. I'm not an advocate for ships. Trust me, I hate ships too. But take fleets out of that back zone and split them.
Yeah.
Fleet, a fleet or 2 in one zone and a fleet or 2 in another zone. And then that way you still have those character battles to play around with and be like, okay, I'm going to hide a Leia in the back. I'm going to hide a Malgus in the back. I'm going to hide an Inquisitor team in the back, right? And now you have that surprise factor back in GAC. That'd be the thing I would change.
I like that idea a lot. I think that'd be really good. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that, to be honest with you. The only other thing that I would think maybe I'd like to see, and this would be pretty easy, I would think, would be like a fog of war effect, where you can't see your opponent's score and things like that until after they've attacked or after the GAC is over. I think that's nice. Marvel Strike Force has it. I think that'd be something that would be really nice to see come to the game as well. Let us know in the comments, guys, what are some updates that you'd like to see come to the game for PvP content in particular, for both GAC as well as TW. Love to know your thoughts on it, and if you think that we're onto something or if we're just totally clueless and out in the middle of nowhere. But moving on to our second topic, guys. Ahsoka Rex. Probably my favorite part of our discussions here, guys. Ram, we're really going to talk about the next 4 Rex, okay? We obviously know the first 8 guys at this point. Ram, who do you think could be our next 4 Rex that we're getting for Ahsoka?
Oh, well, first off, you misspelled this. This is completely wrong.
Did I?
It's not Ahsoka. It's Ashoka. Okay. As your stream concluded last night.
You come into this house and you say her name right, sir. If you come into this house, you say her name right.
Ashoka.
You guys will get that reference momentarily.
Go. This is why you guys need to watch Twitch. You gotta watch the streams because it's a lot of inside jokes that you'll miss. All right, so the next characters that we think are coming.
The next 4 specifically.
The next 4.
And this should not be the ship, from what I'm understanding. This was not going to include the ship.
No, well, we don't have any ships left, right? They're all light side.
Well, there's one more light side ship.
Right?
No, there's one more light side ship that's going to be a requirement. That's, I believe, coming out in the 4th set. That's the way the picture makes it looks like.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so, but we all know that they're light side. So my guesses would be, Fulcrum would be one of them.
Okay.
I'm still gunning for Plo Koon. I think Plo Koon is a very viable option. Bo-Katan, but I don't know which version.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, which one?
I don't know which version. They could go either one. They could go both, realistically. I don't know if they would make Mandalore because she's not available completely yet, right? She's not Journey Guide available.
She's not permanently available. No, she's monthly available.
She's monthly available. They might could make Mandalore bow available or a requirement.
It's possible.
I think it's probably more likely that they'll do the regular bow. Hera would be another one I would see being an option.
So you said Plo, Fulcrum, Bo maybe, and then Hera. So you don't think they're going to drop any new marquees in this next set?
Not for this one.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, they just dropped Shin and Merrick and Great Mothers. And Great Mothers are already required for this, right? No, Great Mothers are required for Balin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have not dropped a new Ahsoka marquee for a while. Interesting. I was torn when I was, debating this. I think we're going to see at least 2 more marquees, if not 3, which means that we would not likely have all 3 of them in the last set because one of them is a ship, and that would mean that all 3 of them would be marquees for the final one. I don't think that's going to happen. I could see them doing 1 marquee in this 3rd set, and then 1 or 2 marquees in the last set.
Interesting.
My guess would be that in this 3rd set, we're going to see Sabine, probably. Because we all know she's coming.
Yeah.
That's not anything that's going to be super surprising. Versus the 4th set, I think is going to be a little bit more surprising to us. I am with you on Fulcrum. I think Fulcrum will be one of them. I think it's mostly going to be legacy characters in this 3rd set. I would say Plo, maybe Kanan. I was leaning more towards the Kanan Jarrus thought process than I am Plo, but I could definitely see Plo as one of them. I think Kanan has to be in here because if they're gonna do, they already dropped Ezra. That pretty much confirms Kanan's gonna be one of the Rex in my opinion, because of the Twilight of the Apprentice episodes. What I think is gonna be tricky in this 3rd set is Bo. So we're both kind of on the same page on this. If we see OG Bo in this 3rd set, obviously that confirms that we're not getting Bo Mandalore, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if we don't get Bo in this 3rd set, because I think what they're going to do is I think in that 4th and final set, there's going to be a ship. I think there's going to be 2 marquees, and then I think they're going to drop Bo Mandalore in that 4th set. And people are going to have to panic wail like crazy. I just see them totally backloading that 4th set. So I do kind of agree with you in that I think it's going to be a lot of legacy characters. Fulcrum, I would say Kanan. It might be Kanan and Plo Koon, though, to be honest with you. It could be both of them. Take both of those up to Relic 8, take Fulcrum to Relic 9, and then you've got your new marquee at Relic 7.
That's why I don't think that they're going to have a marquee in this set. Because
so you think it's going to be
nothing
2,
says,
and it's going to be in the last one?
I think the marquees will be in the last one because they want people to panic farm.
How many?
And
how many?
They've already
marquees do you
given
think?
us what? Well, they've already done what? 3 marquees
Right.
in Ahsoka requirements
Yeah,
currently,
they've done 3 already. Yeah.
and
Night
they've
Trooper,
given
Enoch, and Prettia.
yeah. So with those 3, they've given us a good bit of time to farm them. Like
Correct.
2 of them are still not farmable, but they've been out for a little while and they will become farmable here soon.
Right.
Night Trooper, a lot of people are going to have. I almost have him at 6 stars already. So by bringing out another set and another marquee with that, that's still giving people a lot of time to be able to farm them, because they've already said that Ahsoka is not coming out until Ezra is available, and he's not available until what, the November Conquest? Right, so we still
yes.
so we still got about 2 months before Ezra's available.
Right.
So we got 2 months before Ahsoka comes out. So an easy way to get people to panic farm, bring out marquees in the last set.
So do you think there's going to be 2 or 3 more marquees? Just 2?
I think 2.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, what other marquee would they bring out outside of obviously a ship, and then who was the one you just said?
Well, so Sabine would be one other marquee.
Sabine. Yeah.
Hu Yang is probably another marquee that we would see. That gives you 4 of the 5 for the team.
Hu Yang could be one.
And so the question becomes, is that 5th member going to be a legacy character, or is it going to be another new marquee as well? That's where I think everybody's kind of
Or Bo-Katan.
like OG
Mandalore.
Bo.
No, Mandalore.
You think she would go on the Ahsoka team?
No. I don't think. Oh, no. I thought we were talking about requirements still.
So we are, but the whole idea is that if you think about what her 5-team comp is going to be, it would be Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine, Hu Yang, and then who's the 5th? So that's kind of the idea of who that possible 3rd marquee would be. Who's that 5th member of that team that could potentially be a marquee? I don't know the answer, to be honest with you.
I mean, it would depend on what they
Other than
tie
Chopper.
up her.
Chopper could be one, because we see Chopper in the series.
Chopper could be one.
People have speculated a new Hera, maybe. I don't think we're gonna get a new Hera though.
No.
Not to pair with Ahsoka.
Not now.
I think she would be her own thing after further development in the series. But I could see a Chopper coming out and fitting in that team.
Plo Koon makes sense.
No, he wouldn't have a Spectre tag.
They could give him one.
He was never in the Phoenix. You're just like, screw lore. Let's just give him a tag.
Well, no, right. But they could do something in the kit where she'd be like, Galactic Republic Tank Jedi taunt for 3 turns or some shit like that.
I don't know, man. I don't see that. If anything, I would think they would use Kanan, because he was at least in the Phoenix squad.
So you're going to dismantle the entire Phoenix squad?
If it's not a new marquee, you're going to have to take somebody away from there. Yeah. I mean, there's 6 of them. So.
There's 6?
In the Phoenix. Well, actually, there's 7 now.
Oh, 7, right?
There's 7
Rex.
now with Krex, yeah. I forgot about Krex, yeah.
So yeah, they could take Kanan out.
Mm-hmm. The only one you can't take, really, would be Hera, because that ruins the Phoenix team. Like, you literally can't function without Hera.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments down below, guys. Who do you think we're going to see in the next group of Ahsoka requirements? And just for funsies, who do you think is going to be in the 5 for the Ahsoka team when she does come out eventually? The Spectre team, if you will. Okay, last but not least.
Requirements.
Yes. Last but not least, speaking of Ahsoka, we said earlier, guys, you get this reference here at the end of the stream. We're moving on to our Master of Memes, guys. So we do this every week here on Rogue Actions. We do this over on Twitch on Friday nights. Fun times. We get to check out some amazing memes from community members. This week is no exception. We have 2 great memes, guys. Let's get in there and check them out, shall we? We have the following. All right, hold on. I gotta turn my camera on. There it is. We've got the following. Me, waiting for the light to turn green. I feel like, Ram, you should like stare at me while I'm staring straight at the camera. just to reenact our meme. Yeah, there you go. Guy holding cardboard sign over that way. Versus, good job, Ram. Versus, this is the one that I referenced earlier, guys. When people spell Ahsoka as Ashoka, you come to our house, you get my wife's name right. It's from a movie, guys. The movie is The Others, I believe. The Other Guy, something like that. Will Ferrell's in it.
You actually know that.
I didn't. Somebody had to tell me in stream.
Oh, okay.
I have seen the movie, though. That's the shocking part. But yeah, if you don't get that reference, guys, check out the movie. It's a ton of fun. Very, very funny. For me, Ram, both of these are great because they're both very real. Like, they absolutely hit hard. But for me, I can't stand it when people spell Ahsoka the wrong way, because in the music world, there is actually a song called the Ashoka Overture, and it's spelled Ashoka. So when people spell Ashoka, I think of the music song, like the actual overture for Ashoka, not the character Ahsoka. And so it drives me insane when they can't spell her name right, because it literally makes me think of something completely different. So for me, it is absolutely the Ahsoka meme, man. Which one do you like better here?
So obviously both of them, again, they both are phenomenal. But me personally, and I never had this issue until I moved here to where I'm at in Florida. That cardboard box, cardboard thing, there are so many people that are homeless out here in this area. And I pass oh God, there's so many parts that I pass. And I'll be sitting there. So fun fact, my car is kind of busted and I don't have running AC. It has AC, but it kind of doesn't work real well, which doesn't really work for the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. So what do I have to do? I have to roll down my windows. And so when I am coming to these lights and there are just people just standing on the side and I'm just sitting here like, okay, all right, light, can you turn green? Can you turn green? Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Do not look around. Do not look around. Okay, cool. I can go now. That's me on like a daily basis driving to work.
Oh man.
So I had to go with the cardboard box thing.
Cardboard sign, guys.
Cardboard sign, yep.
All right, so we vote for this on Friday nights, guys, over on Twitch. We have the community vote for the winner here. And the winner then gets a special title over on Discord. They get a shout out on Twitch during the stream. They get a shout out here on Rogue Actions. And they get a shout out, obviously, on Discord as well. This week's winner by vote via Twitch stream, guys, is none other than Cardboard Sign Guy. I hate you guys for not picking Ahsoka. But this is a good one, I gotta say. Guys, this week's Master of Memes winner is none other than Contingent. That is 3 weeks in a row, guys. 3 weeks in a row. Contingent's meme game is strong, you guys. If you think this is a great meme, but you think you can do better, head over to Discord, everybody. We've got the links down below and all that jazz. Head over to Discord, guys, and make sure you submit your memes into the Master of Memes competition. And like I said, we will shout you out here on Rogue Actions, over on Twitch during our streams, and on Discord, and you get a special, super special role as well. Especially because next week, guys, if Contingent wins again next week, I think he sets the record. He ties the record with Death Zone. So we need some memes, guys. We need some people with some memes to beat him, guys. Get over there. Get in there and get some stuff done, everybody. All right. Last but not least, Ram, any final parting words on this wonderful Monday morning? No, this one. Don't look. Don't look.
No, just make sure that as you guys are enjoying your week, remember, it's Ashoka, not Ahsoka.
I have no words, guys. Cue the outro!